I will make a bet right now.
You'll make a bet right now.
I'll make a bet right now with Donald.
Oh yeah.
With
That
Donald.
Baldur's Gate takes Game of the Year.
Cheers to the Kingdom.
They're being recorded. They're coming out right now.
It's like happening as we record this. So by the time this airs, everyone will know that I'm right and Donald's wrong. He thinks Tears of the Kingdom is going to win. I think Baldur's Gate 3 is going to win.
And what's the wager?
What's the wager? I will Tuckerize him into a book.
I will take that wager. What do I have to do for you feathers, though?
You have to shine my shoes.
Deal.
Wait, Donald,
Yes?
being Tuckerized, are you going to, if you win, are you going to insist he doesn't? You know what Dan does to people he puts in
I
his
get
books?
murdered, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Horrifically.
Horrifically.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
Okay.
It's all
Okay.
that typecast fuel coming out.
Hi.
Hi. That's we'll be waiting. Tell us as soon as it happens, Donald.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they announce it like during this podcast
Yeah.
while we're still filming, that'd be amazing.
That's what we want.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Okay.
It's a little early, right?
Yeah,
it's like 6
that'll
o'clock.
be the last one of the list. I'll go through all the other things first.
We can put an update at the end.
Yep.
Baldur's Gate's going to win voice acting too, if there's an award for that.
Okay.
Anyway, whatever. Hey, so I don't suppose you have another food heist.
I do not have
Okay.
another food heist.
I do.
You do? Go for it.
I do, but I'm not going to tell it yet.
Okay.
Because for the last 6 episodes,
You've been wanting to do
I have been
self-promotion.
wanting to promote my thing, and I keep forgetting. So now I'm going to promote my thing. And then after I'm done, then you get a food heist. Okay?
Okay.
So this year, 2023, I did a gaming retreat, and it was awesome. It was, and so it worked so well that next year in 24, I'm doing 3 of them. One's already sold out, but there's still 2 more you can sign up for. And this is just where I rent out a big vacation home and I get my friend to come make food for us. And then you come spend a week in a big house full of food and games and we play games all week. And it's awesome.
By games, you mean Unreal Tournament?
I want to try to figure out how to do like a LAN party with good computers.
But no,
But people
it is
travel
not-
from all over. So it's mostly board games and role-playing games.
There you are.
Yeah. And let's see. Last year we had an 11-hour, I think, game of Twilight Imperium. We had multiple Magic drafts. I ran a campaign of Blades in the Dark based in the Greenbone Saga universe by Fonda Lee. Like, we did all kinds of awesome stuff.
And are they all locally here or?
The one that's sold out is in Florida. The 2 that are left are both in Utah,
Okay.
in Salt Lake.
Okay.
And there's one in July and there's one in June. And they're going to be awesome. So go to my website, thedanwells.com, and look in the store and you can get all the details and sign up for them. And then we can play games all week.
Great. And you have now not forgotten.
And now I have not forgotten. I've successfully promoted. Do you know how hard it is for me to self-promote? Not because I'm shy or like humble. It's because I'm just really bad at self-promotion.
I mean, we're not joking. It's been 6 episodes or something. It was like, all right, I'm going to do my thing this time. And I say, all right. And then,
And then I forget.
yeah,
It's because there's no way to bring it in organically.
that's right. You
Yeah.
needed a food heist.
I needed a food heist that was like about role-playing games.
You needed a board game heist.
A board game heist.
You would have found
Did
a
we
board
talk about
game-
the one where a guy stole a Pokemon card?
a Pokemon card?
Yeah.
Okay.
He tunneled through the wall from one place in a strip mall into a game store, and he stole like a Charizard or something that
Okay.
was foil in a set 1. It was
Yeah.
worth tens of thousands of dollars.
Okay.
He probably took some other Pokemon cards with him. But anyway, that was a couple of years ago.
All right, food heist.
All right, do you want a food heist?
You promised.
So, yeah, this
Did-
one was sent to me yesterday.
Okay.
So this happened in Oklahoma, a months-long Dr. Pepper syrup
Oh,
theft ring
Dr.
was
Pepper.
busted.
well,
Yeah.
okay.
There were a group of 3 dudes that were stealing thousands of dollars worth of soda syrup
Okay.
and selling it to a gas station for their soda machine.
Okay.
And eventually the dude that caught him, like the regional manager of the facility, he started placing GPS trackers in the boxes of soda syrup so that he could get all high tech
Nice.
and track him down. Yeah, it was pretty great.
So they got caught?
Yeah, they did get caught.
Uh-huh.
One of the things I love is that they interviewed the gas station regulars to be like, so how does it feel to know you've been drinking illicit Dr. Pepper syrup? And like, how do you think it feels? I don't know.
Tastes like Dr. Pepper?
That surprises me. I didn't realize. So anyway, yeah. We always talk about in these food heists, who's buying the mystery meat, right? Who's buying the 10,000 pounds or 20 tons of butter from last episode? It was this dude at a gas station.
I would feel a lot more okay buying Dr. Pepper syrup on the black market. Not that I would ever,
Then ground beef.
but yeah.
Yeah.
You know, there's a distinction there. Chicken breasts, yeah. Dr. Pepper syrup, okay, fine, whatever.
Court documents show that the gas station guy knew the product was stolen, or at least allege that he knew the product was stolen. So,
Okay.
they're looking at a total over several months of 10 pallets of soda syrup,
Okay, that's a
which is
decent
just
amount.
shy of $40,000 worth.
Trying to decide if they deserved like a cool name or not. And I don't know, just stealing and going to one location. I mean,
Well,
I
that's
don't-
loyalty.
that is loyalty. I don't know if they deserve a cool name.
Yeah.
And would you pun on doctor or would you just pun on like, you know,
Pepper?
or soda,
Syrup?
right? It's like, or syrup, like you could be like the syrup snipers or something like that, right?
The surreptitious syrup.
Snipers? Yes.
I want something other than titious at the end.
But yeah, that's probably where you go because you want to be able to use them in future food heists as perhaps the masterminds of.
Yeah. Next time soda syrup gets stolen, we know exactly who it was.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, there you go. I love these long term. So it's not one heist where they go in, but over time, skimming off the top, embezzling
Soda syrup.
soda syrup,
Yeah.
and then the high tech angle where the guy's like putting Apple trackers or whatever it was into the boxes. Love it. Love it all.
So, what are we going to talk about? Oh, it's the end of the year
It's the end of the year.
as we know it.
Is this actually going to end? Like, is this going to air in December, or is this going to air like halfway through January?
We can make it so.
Oh, nice. So,
We're going to do a year-end in review.
yeah, we're
Yeah.
going to talk about 2023.
2023, our year, media that we particularly enjoyed.
Yeah.
And other things. Do you want to start with some media?
Boy,
What's your favorite video game of the year?
my favorite video game of the year, believe it or not, is Baldur's Gate 3.
Baldur's Gate 3.
We have covered the fact that Dan has terrible taste in video games so many times.
Somehow you're playing the most popular game of the year, or one of them.
Well, and specifically, I have gone on record saying that I don't like the way video games tell stories. And that the games that I do end up coming back to and playing, like League of Legends or Overwatch, are very specifically not story-based. Baldur's Gate is the first game in, I'm going to say, 10 years at least, and probably more, that I have absolutely latched onto the story. I'm in my third playthrough now. It has overcome whatever weird hang-ups I have in my brain, and I love everything about it.
I didn't play any video games this
You
year.
didn't play any video games.
I don't think I played a
But
single
you wrote
one.
like 400,000 words.
It's a Stormlight year. And so normally I enjoy myself a video game now and then. The Snowder snipers,
Oh my gosh.
syrup snipers, the surreptitious.
The surreptitious syrup snipers.
Yes. Though they're, of course, taking the snipe as a sniper rather than a snipe who steals.
Yeah.
Because you can snipe something that you take it from someone
Surreptitious
else.
syrup swiper.
Swiper. Swiper, no swiping.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, because sniping, I was just using kind of the video game term where I got your kill or something like that, which does have like the gun. Connotation.
That's a pretty gruesome. Make sure to put that one online somewhere where people can see this very gruesome syrup sniper.
And if you didn't see last week's, the Butter Buccaneers.
The Butter Buccaneers.
We could just name this person Surreptitious.
Surreptitious.
You don't even need Swiper.
Yeah.
It's just Surreptitious. Like Madonna has one name, Surreptitious.
He's titious to his friends.
And Sir to his enemies.
His name is Sir Uptitious. He's been knighted by the Queen of Food Heists.
So I have no favorite video game of the year.
You have no favorite video game of the year.
My son plays these for me and tells me how great they are. So he has played Tears of the Kingdom and Baldur's Gate. I should ask him which one he likes more. He had decision paralysis on Baldur's Gate. He has trouble. See, he has trouble with
Which one,
games.
Joel?
Joel. He has
Because
trouble.
Joel told me he loved Baldur's Gate.
He did, but when I asked how he's progressing, he's like, I hit a point where I know if I make one decision, I can't have the other one.
Oh, okay.
And that's really hard for him. The way his brain works, the opportunity cost of making a decision is very difficult.
That's totally fair.
And in Tears of the Kingdom, he knows he can do all the things, even if he doesn't have to do them in a specific order.
That's and I get that. At the same time, that's one of the things I love about the game. Like I said, I'm in my third playthrough.
'Cause you can play
They've all been so different.
Yeah.
Because you can just go different paths. This year, let's see. Other than Baldur's Gate, I haven't played a ton of other new ones. I just barely bought because they were both on sale. Marvel Midnight Suns.
Okay.
And Cyberpunk. Finally got Cyberpunk.
You have to tell me how that is. A lot of people say with all the kind of updates and things they've done that it's pretty good.
It's apparently amazing now, and it was on a super good sale on Steam, so I grabbed it yesterday morning. I haven't had a chance to even install it yet.
I guess my game of the year is Terraria, because I play that with my boys. Calamity Mod. I'd never done Calamity Mod before, so once a week I get an hour or so to play with my boys, and we do that, which is a lot of fun. Me and Joel just kind of actually play the game as intended, whereas my middle son mostly collects animals and puts them in terrariums and displays them, and then gets bored and goes and does something else. And the youngest son tends to go fight bosses over and over again that he can defeat easily, then get bored and go do something else. But for a while, we're all together for a little bit.
Sometime next summer, I imagine, when you have finished writing and revising Stormlight 5 and you're ready to be done, what is the first game? All these incredible things have come out. What's the one you're most excited to play?
It's probably Tears of the Kingdom.
Okay.
I liked the first one so much, and the thing about that is, like, it's real easy. Like Baldur's Gate, how easy is it on a Steam Deck? Being portable is really handy for me for gaming, because I'm not around my computer, and so it's got a different mindset and things like that. I mean, I really want to do the newer Armored Core. That's high up there on the list. I am not. So Bethesda games, as I've said before, I usually wait like 5 years. I wait until not just it's been modded, but until it's been modded to the point that it's just all the coolest mods. Everyone knows what they are.
Yeah.
That's what I did with the latest Fallout 4.
Okay.
It was 5 years after it came out.
So you go through at least 2 full production cycles. What is the company going to do?
Yeah.
And then what is the fan community going to do? At that point, it is
Yeah.
the most refined possible version of itself.
I found that just works so well for those Bethesda games, because they do use mods so extensively. The fan community does.
Did you see that Hades 2 got announced?
Yeah, that was announced a year ago at the Game Awards.
Well, see, I don't pay attention to these things.
So, looking forward to Hades 2 quite a bit also. So,
well, hooray. What about, you don't watch TV?
I don't watch network television.
No.
What was my favorite show of the year? It was probably Ted Lasso.
Okay.
I got into it late, and we watched 2 seasons this year, and it would be my number 1, I'm pretty sure.
You haven't watched 3 yet?
I haven't watched season 3 yet.
I've watched most of 3.
Yeah.
Last time we talked about it months and months ago, I still haven't watched it since then.
Okay. Well, that jives with some other people that I know who have said 3 may not be may not be on the level that I'm hoping it to be.
My TV show of the year was actually Supernatural.
Okay.
This like 20-year-old show
Yep.
that I finally got around to watching.
At least mine had a new season this year. Wait, Supernatural had a new season last year, didn't it?
Yeah, it ended last
Yeah.
year.
So
But
that
I
counts.
have never watched any of it. And then on the recommendation of Steve Diamond, I decided I'm finally going to give this a watch. I watched the first 5 seasons, which by all accounts are the best ones anyway, and loved it. Absolutely, not just enjoyable, but brilliant. The writing, the audacity of what they were able to do and get away with, such a good show.
Yeah.
So, that's not news to anyone other than me, but Supernatural.
There are episodes of Wheel of Time season 2 that I think are great. We'll talk
Awesome.
about it eventually.
Yeah,
but
eventually we will.
There are episodes of that I
Have
think
you watched
are great.
it all?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I haven't, but I'll
not
catch
with-
up
Yeah.
probably
so
over Christmas.
Yeah. I finally turned it on and watched it while sorting magic cards and things for my nightly whatever. I didn't go watch it with my wife in the theater, which I probably should.
Do you have wife shows and solo shows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And solo shows, I usually like they're a different thing for me. Like I don't go into the nice theater and watch them. With the wife shows, we go in and we full attention and everything like that. So
Wheel of Time is a wife show for
Yes.
me, which means that
Yeah.
because Dawn's been in school all
yeah.
year or whatever, all semester, we haven't had time to watch more than 2 episodes of it. So
Yep.
got to catch up.
Though, well, we don't give spoilers. Everyone knows that I have a problem with episode 8.
No, okay.
But regardless, let's see. Films. Is yours RRR?
It's absolutely RRR.
Mine is
RRR is like a top 5 all-time movie for me.
mine's Across the Spider-Verse. RRR would be number 2.
We should do a whole episode where we talk about that.
Yes, we did that last week, Dan.
But we might be airing this one out of order.
Maybe we will be, but
Maybe we will be. Sounds like I don't know.
who knows? It's up to the whims of the
Fate.
of the production team. I was
Yeah.
going to say you're now renamed Fate.
Your fate.
Mm-hmm.
The Fate
The
team.
publicity and team that makes
Which
these
means that you
things.
have to start knitting.
So yeah, I would rank RRR as number 2.
Okay.
A close number 2. Barbie is up there. Barbie was an excellent film. It's probably my
Haven't
number
seen
3.
that yet, though I hear it's great.
Yeah. So there's my top 3.
Yeah.
Other films that I liked. What
Let's
else?
see, this year D&D came out,
D&D was
which
good.
I thought was really good.
Yeah.
Mission Impossible came out, which was mostly just disappointing.
I mean, it's still
It was good,
yeah.
but I remember it as disappointing rather than remembering it as good.
I would rank D&D above it, but
Yeah.
not above my top 3.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe D&D's number 4. No, I did not see any of the Marvel films that came out this year.
At some point over the summer when I was ill, I think this was actually depression rather than some kind of like stomach bug.
Yep.
I watched Black Panther 2 and I watched Ant-Man 3 and I watched whatever the other one was.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
No, I haven't watched that one.
Okay.
I watched Thor.
Thor.
Thor 4, Love
Thor,
and
Love
Thunder.
and Thunder.
I watched all 3 of them in one day.
Mm-hmm.
And
We did an episode on Thor, right?
Oh no,
Yeah.
not about Love and Thunder.
Didn't
no.
we?
I don't know if we get a whole episode.
A
out of
mini
that.
episode on that. I mean, our thoughts are going to be the same as everyone's.
Yeah. Of those 3, Quantum Mania was the best, and Quantum Mania was still terrible. I did not like any of them.
Emily watched Black Panther without me, and once my wife's watched a movie, my chances of getting to it go way down. Which is, I haven't seen Oppenheimer yet. It might take one of these top slots, but I'm waiting to see that with my wife when we have the time and the desire to watch it in our theater. But Of the Thor: Love and Thunder, it's like two okay movies smashed together that makes them both worse.
Yeah.
Right? Like Christian Bale's performance is excellent.
Yes.
It's Christian Bale. And he leans into that character and is genuinely terrifying. Like he's a good MCU villain, which is something we've been wanting for years. Unfortunately, he got stuck into Taika Waititi buddy comedy farce that also is for some reason dealing with death by cancer. And it just completely didn't work.
Yeah.
I did hear one thing that made me like it better.
Okay.
I have someone I was talking to, one of our friends who shall remain unattributed, but smart friend, said they like it a lot more just imagining this as Korg's retelling, because it starts off from his viewpoint, and he's the narrator. And Korg just tells things in a funny way, and it was actually much more dramatic, and a lot of the goofy stuff didn't actually happen. Korg just put that in because it's Korg's version of events.
If we look at this as the melodrama Korg storyteller version,
yes,
that does make it better.
Makes it a little better, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But still, misfire of a movie.
Yeah.
And it was the last MCU film I think I saw, because that came out after. I think
that was 22,
Multiverse of Madness.
Right? Yeah.
Yes,
did.
came after. So that's the last MCU film that I've like. That kind of killed it for me, because Multiverse of Madness I was looking forward to so much, and I love Sam Raimi, and I really, really liked WandaVision, and it just left such a sour taste in my mouth.
Yeah.
Despite being a decent film. And then Thor: Love and Thunder, which again, Taika Waititi, I had high expectations, and it just fell on its face. I'm like,
those two are such a 1-2 punch of watching creators you love get their uniqueness and individuality steamrolled by the juggernaut of the MCU.
Here's the thing. I think their uniqueness and individuality is there. Absolutely there, but not so.
But not enough to make it a great movie.
I don't think Thor: Love and Thunder would have been better if Taika Waititi had just done more humor and more Taika Waititi goofiness. Right? Like, I think the problem is the same problem we have with the with Star Wars, in that JJ is a really good filmmaker. Rian Johnson, pretty talented. He can do good stuff. Without some overseeing hand saying I'm saying there wasn't enough of that. There wasn't enough of someone sitting down and saying, all right, what's your vision for this? How can we make your vision work with a strong narrative of the things we need? We need people to connect to Thor, not think of Thor as just a dumb himbo that
this is pure conjecture and theory crafting. But how much do you think what's wrong with current Marvel is that they're no longer making movies, they're making chapters of a saga?
They did that with before. I think it's that there's too much, so that the quality control at the top that used to be there, and there were weak MCU films before.
Absolutely.
But because there was a quality control on the whole thing, the sum was stronger than than its parts. Whatever you say. The sum of the total is larger than the individual parts added together somehow. And in that, you still had some really excellent films like Winter Soldier and the Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
And somehow the magic worked, and the people at the top were able to walk this line, because those two films feel completely different from one another and are excellent films. And then it just got away from them. I think the kick to my stomach was finding out that Sam Raimi did not know the plot of WandaVision, did not know the arc and story, and had to film and make a movie. And of course, Sam Raimi's gonna ham it up with the villain. It's what Sam Raimi does. And if you give him the right material, that hamming up is absolutely a strength. William Dafoe in the Spider-Man originals, right, is a perfect example of that. And so, I have to blame the people at the top. I just there's too much going on. They cannot control it anymore, and because of that, it just has become a mess.
And it's coming out so quickly that there isn't time to, for example, make sure that WandaVision leads into Multiverse of Madness. Speaking of, did you get a chance to watch any of the Disney Plus shows, like Loki season 2, any of that?
Haven't had a chance. I hadn't had interest. Honestly, to watch them. Now, Loki season 2 is the one I'm most likely to watch because it's hard for me to take anything seriously in the MCU because of Loki season 1.
Yeah.
And because of time travel, right? But I can take those seriously because they're dealing with the multiverse in ways that can actually have some control over it. Even something like Quantumania just can't. Yeah. Like, all right, this Ant-Man dies. There's another one. He's identical. He didn't die. Right? There is, but the way that Loki's set up, you can get around some of that. And so Loki's the only MCU thing that matters. Captain Marvel, I saw the trailer, I'm like, I don't care. The world can blow up, right?
And it doesn't matter anymore.
The entire universe can evaporate. In Multiverse of Madness, he says entire universes evaporated. And I'm like, well, if entire universes can evaporate.
Yeah.
But there's another one identical to it. This is the multiverse problem. I don't care. I don't care about the world-ending stakes.
Yeah. I have not yet seen Loki season 2, but Robert Jackson Bennett, another fantastic author, he told me that a lot of it is just people staring at lines on screens and then somberly whispering, "That was an entire universe that just disappeared." Like, yeah, whatever, man. Okay. What else? You read any books this year?
So I read some books. I'm in the middle of Foundation because I have to write a foreword to Foundation.
In the day.
Or I don't have to. I was invited to write a foreword to Foundation. I read Rachel Lynn's book.
I haven't read hers yet.
Yep. The Doll Makers. That's, I think, coming out in a year. It's really good.
A year or
maybe two. Yeah.
It's like
August
way
of
out
next
there.
year.
August next year?
August of 24. Nice.
So, I reread Going Postal, which is probably my book of the year.
I read that last year. Finally got around to it.
Yep.
It was excellent.
I read The Light Fantastic, which I'd never read, which is Discworld number 2.
Okay. You have not yet read Fond du Lis, right?
No, but that has moved up on my list. That's
Greenbone Saga was 100% my book discovery of 23.
Okay.
Loved it. I think I might have read the first one last year.
I actually had trouble remembering. What it was, but then I found it, but then I had to read Rachel Lynn's book for a cover blurb in case I was willing to give one to her, and that was on a deadline. And now, Foundation. This is how a lot of my reading goes. Foundation's on a deadline, and so that is what I'm reading right now.
Frankly, most of the books I've read this year are yours because I need to catch up on the Cosmere and things like that.
Favorite thing not a media property of the year?
Favorite thing that was not a media property.
I'll give you. I'll go first because I know what mine is.
Okay.
Mine was went to Hawaii and had a nice writing session, and Scar was there for the first time and set up a tent for me. Is Scar here? Can you take off? Yeah, Scar set up a windbreak shade for me.
The mobile Sanderson tent.
The mobile Brandon Beach base. The MB3. And there was a hammock. And I got to sit in a hammock overlooking the ocean in perfect weather. And it was, and I did that 10 days in a row, and wrote a bunch of Stormlight 5, and it was
awesome.
It was, and Emily was there, so we went out to dinner at night. Her and I, and she and I, so it was wonderful. I really enjoyed it.
Cool. This is not the year that I don't think it was. Is this the year that I went to Hawaii and got COVID, or was that last year? I can't even remember.
I don't.
These all blend. No, it was last year because it was right before I started working here.
Okay.
Here's my favorite thing of the year.
Okay.
Duloxetine.
Oh, you're...
That's my depression med that works. We've talked about this on the show before. I basically have, at this point, a little more than a year diagnosis of depression and panic, and have been working to get it under control. And a couple of months ago, they switched me from fluoxetine, which is an SSRI, to duloxetine, which is an SNRI. And almost overnight, I became a happier, better, more cheerful, more active version of myself. It was wonderful.
Let me say, all you chemists out there that are finding this stuff, good on you. Good job. You're making the world a better place. You know?
Absolutely.
Like, yeah. We write goofy stories about wizards and or serial killers in your case.
On occasion, robots.
And then there's people who are making it so we can do so.
Yes.
And in my case, it's not depression, but my insomnia medicine works really well. And it's helped me a lot.
Great.
Last night would have been an insomnia night. It hits me once every couple of weeks, where in the past I would have laid there and then been up until noon, sometimes up until like 3.
Wow.
In the afternoon, right? Until I can finally sleep. And last night I could feel that it was going to be one of those days, and then it's still, it's hard to get a good insomnia medicine because if it's too strong, you're just groggy all the time.
Yeah.
Which is not good, right? Like you don't actually want a powerful insomnia medicine. You want one that's just enough to tip you over the edge without leaving you groggy the next day. And that is a really tricky fine line to walk. And so
I take trazodone.
Yeah.
It's kind of my sleeping pill. And it is so hard to wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm so just groggy and awful.
Same with my son. He takes
the same one?
Yeah.
I think I could knock the dose back and maybe that'll work, but...
So before we go, I do want to mention some YouTube videos. We are on YouTube as well as other things.
Many other outlets.
But the majority of our viewership and our listenership is on YouTube. So I want to highlight, again, Patrick H. Willems. He has an amazing episode called The Content Episode, which is talking about calling things content and why he thinks that that the term is kind of insulting and destructive to the creation of artistic works. Okay. And I think it should be, nothing's required viewing, but as close to required viewing as I can say for anyone who wants to be a creator in the modern day.
I have that bookmarked because you told me to watch it, and I haven't watched it yet.
But
I will.
His whole season is a banger. His RRR episode and he did an episode on RRR, and he went to India with his co-writer who's of Indian descent together, and a lot of the episodes are co-written by him, and they went together and talked about Indian cinema and had an episode. He had an episode that's like a who killed movies, a murder mystery, where he's like investigating why films aren't selling, doing as well. He did a whole bunch of really awesome stuff. And I should say their team. It's a whole team over there. But speaking of creating things on the internet, I also recommend that people watch H. Bomber Guy's new video on plagiarism and how kind of the internet is still the Wild West as plagiarism goes, and how this is a bad thing for everyone. Yeah. And it's He says it's like one of his worst essays ever. It's really insightful and kind of shows.
So I've never watched an H Bomber Guy video because I'm a grumpy old man.
Yes.
Tell me what the style is like. Is this the kind of thing where every 5 seconds there's going to be a scene break or somebody screaming?
He does a bit of that.
Because
it's video essay form. He's very frenetic though, and excited by things, and but they're like 3 hours long. Yeah. And he's a good filmmaker, so they're not overly much, but basically he takes 3 case studies on YouTube right now of people whose content really under old rules would be utter plagiarism, but on the internet is kind of on this gray line where when they get called out on it, they change a few things and then re-upload it and stuff like this. And it's some good creators, right? Whose material is otherwise high effort, right?
Yeah.
And some that are low effort. And he talks about how some of these are destructive to the communities that they're trying to advocate for, how sometimes it's just lazy, anyway, it's a really interesting, but it's like 3 hours long take on plagiarism as it relates to YouTube. These sorts of things are really interesting to me because of the intersection of new media and old.
Yeah.
Where a lot of the plagiarism is someone finds a cool news article online and then just kind of uses that as the text to make something. Others are more nefarious about it, but regardless.
When that H-Bomber guy plagiarism video came out, one of the Discords I'm in just exploded because everyone was so excited. And I, having never watched it, I said, what's the big deal? And a friend of mine said, just imagine that in my corner of the internet is having a holy week. And I'm like, oh, okay, that makes perfect sense.
His kind of look at various media properties tend to be pretty interesting as well. Like he has some on like the Fallout franchise and some on, various, like he doesn't like Sherlock, the television show.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he has insightful reasons why. I don't know that I agree with him, but he has
the YouTube channels that I tend to watch are like 15-minute videos. I don't have time for a 3-hour video.
Yeah. And I eat my dinner after I finish writing. I have about an hour. Though I guess we're going just a little long. Another thing that is one of my favorite things of the year.
Okay.
Luis Scott Vargas.
I know that name. What do I know?
He is a Magic Pro, one of the best Magic players of all time.
Okay.
He finally started a YouTube channel and he drafts Powered Cube every day. And just every day there's a new draft of him drafting Powered Cube with his friends.
Okay.
And they do an online. So online there's like a draft simulator, and then they import the cards into Magic Online so they can play. And like that's brightened my year, just knowing each night if there's nothing else to watch, there's going to be
watch a Magic game.
I'm going to watch somebody do goofy things with Powered Cube.
2023 is absolutely the year of my full return to Magic. And my kids have been slowly getting me back into it. Working here, you kind of slowly started getting me back into it. It was Lord of the Rings more than anything that was like, okay, I'll reinvest in this. And I don't read the articles all the time like I used to, but I do own significantly more Magic cards than I did a year ago. What did you like about this year, Ben?
I mean, it was the year of Sanderson. We should maybe mention that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, also a bunch of Sanderson stuff happened.